Greetings. It's Pastor Wayne, and I just want to welcome you to this week's edition of The Way. It's a hymn that kind of hit me this week. It says, "Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace." This hymn hit me because it's telling us to turn our eyes, turn our focus, turn our direction on Jesus, instead of looking at the things of this earth. And with all the challenges that we face, we tend to almost want to blame God for not being there when we see things as being really horrific, when we see things as being not where we want them to go, when we see challenges that we can't seem to overcome. We want to blame these things on God. And this hymn says, turn your eyes upon Jesus. This hymn is telling us to look to Jesus. And you say, well, why would I want to do that? Well, John 3:16. So God loved the world that he gave his only son, so that everyone who believes in him won't perish, but will have everlasting life. What does that mean? That means that God cared enough about the world, God cared enough about his creation, that he gave his son to us, so that we who believe would have everlasting life. God loved us. God loved us, and we're saved by God's grace. Perhaps some of the challenges that we face are because as human beings, we have this affinity, that we have this spirit of disobedience. And the spirit of disobedience is like being a child where you want to just do what you want to do instead of doing what your parent wants you to do. Well, think about God. God is there for us, and God's grace is there for us, and God's love is there for us. And here we are trying to do what we want to do in this world, instead of really looking at trying to do the things that God asks us to do, that God expects us to do, that God is looking for us to do as his creation. God has a plan for us. God has a plan for us. And God's plans for us supersede our plans. So maybe instead of looking down at everything that's going on around us, maybe the call is for us to look up to God, to reach out to God, to seek God, to look full in his wonderful face, so that we can turn to God and be assured that God's love is there for us. He sent his son. They called him Jesus, to help heal us and to help get us back on track with God the Father. Just some food for thought.